Erik ten Hag insists he is not guilty of blowing £400 million of Manchester United's cash. The Dutch boss, who remains in limbo over his future, claims he did not sanction the big money signings of Antony, Casemiro, Rasmus Højlund, Mason Mount and Andre Onana.
Man United transfer news live. All the latest deals and rumours from Old Trafford. Ten Hag blames former CEO Richard Arnold and ex-director of football John Murtough, who valued the players. He said, "The prices paid are indeed very high, but I'm not responsible for that. The club did all the negotiations, including for players with good potential who didn't come in the end."
So it is a bit more nuanced than the picture that is being painted that the club's purchasing policy was disastrous. Read more football news. Terrible shame. Man United legend begs for help as EFL club facing expulsion from League Two. Totally great. Get £10 free bet to spend on football plus extra £30 welcome bonus with Tote. It's all negative, but despite all the problems the club's foundation has grown stronger.
That may not be visible to the outside world, but internally everyone will make that analysis. Winger Antony turned into an £85.5 million flop after joining from Ajax, where he played under Ten Hag.
SUNSPORTS transfer news. LIVESTAY in the know this summer with the Suns transfer experts. Chelsea have been given permission from Leicester to speak to Enzo Maresca. Liverpool and Chelsea are eyeing a summer move for Crescencio Somerville.
Premier League clubs are targeting Tosin Adarabioyo, who will be a free agent when his Fulham contract expires next month. Follow our live transfer blog for all the latest deals, gossip and exclusives. Casemiro cost £70 million from Real Madrid and had a good first season but could be offloaded this summer, while United splashed £47.
2 meters on Onana last year. Most read in football. CHEAP thrills Benjamin Sesko and other tempting bargain strikers in Dream Team Euros Civil War. Man City to launch legal action against Prem that may change league forever. Case in point, Casemiro joins new club in exciting career venture amid Man United struggles. Computer says supercomputer predicts Euro 2024 as England learn their fate. All were part of United's worst Prem season as Ten Hag's side finished 8th. Ten Hag's 6 worst defeats as Man United manager after the Red Devils' shock FA Cup final 2-1 win over Manchester City last weekend. Sir Jim Ratcliffe is now conducting an end-of-season review with Ten Hag's future firmly in the spotlight.
Ratcliffe has not backed the manager since his Ineos firm took over on Christmas Eve. And Ten Hag hit back at United's owners when he left Wembley, saying, "When I started, I said, I am here to win and also I want to build a team.
I am doing both. But if they don't want me anymore, I will go somewhere else and win trophies." I am in a project and we are exactly where we want to be. We are constructing a team for the future.
When I took over we were in a mess. The team is developing, the team is winning and plays to an identity. Graham Potter, Thomas Tuchel, Gareth Southgate, Mauricio Pochettino and Roberto De Zerbi have all been linked with the Old Trafford hot seat.
Casino Special. Best casino welcome offers, but Ten Hag finished third in his first season at United and, if he survives, he is keen to strengthen his squad this summer. Read more son STORIESTOUGH lesson I'll get fined £5,000 go to court for taking my kids out of school for holidays bank boost little known way universal credit households can get £812 to help pay the bills he added. The plan last year was clear. We buy a striker and get a goalkeeper who is able to shape the football from behind, and an extra midfielder.
That was the approach, and we would then be stronger and be able to take the next step. Man Utd's Ten Hag decision has turned into a fiasco. No one can accuse Sir Jim Ratcliffe of not being true to his word. He has insisted from the start it was a 3-year plan, writes Phil Thomas.
But maybe he should have said that wasn't the timescale on turning Manchester United into title challengers once again. Clearly United's would-be saviour was talking of how long it would take to decide who he wanted as manager.
It has seemed that way, at least, in a week when an against-all-odds FA Cup final win over neighbours City has barely had a mention alongside the debate over Erik ten Hag's future. To the point that if, as appears increasingly likely, he gets a vote of confidence instead of AP45, Sir Jim will have made it look the exact opposite.
You have to hand it to United and their new investor. When it comes to finding a cloud in every silver lining, they're in a league of their own. Eight days have passed since Bruno Fernandes lifted the world's most famous domestic knockout trophy.
"8 days since Ten Hag finally gave a bit back to all those who have passed judgment on the job he's done and whether he should keep it. "8 days since he gave Sir Jim a metaphoric dig in the ribs to make a decision, by insisting he would happily go and win cups elsewhere if he wasn't wanted.
And 8 days since Ratcliffe did not even have the decency to mention by name the man who had just won United's first FA Cup in 8 years, as he name-checked so many others. No wonder there has been a definite, if not decisive, mood shift among fans since last week's triumph.
Not necessarily a flood of support for Ten Hag, mind. The memory of beating City will live long, but so, too, will a 7-goal hiding at Anfield, 6 at the Etihad, 4 at Palace. A frustration at squandered leads, a season of 19 defeats, an 8th-placed finish with a negative goal difference.
Wembley alone can't erase all that. It's not so much a show of faith in the manager, more a shrinking one in Sir Jim and his tub-thumping vows of a red resurrection. Bold promises that no longer would United be a laughingstock chucking money around like a drunken lottery winner.
They would unearth their own stars instead. Old Trafford would once again become a cathedral of excitement and entertainment. They would demand it of the manager, whoever it was. Immediately after the FA Cup win, you'd have got a big price on that being Ten Hag. So the fact he is now odds on to still be in charge at the start of next season proves what a fiasco it has been.
Ratcliffe may be a dab hand at getting office desks tidied and youth team dressing rooms swept, but it's a different story when it comes to the biggest calls. It is an open secret Sir Jim and his team have been eyeing potential new gaffers for months, and you'd imagine there would be no shortage of takers or candidates.
Graham Potter was an early front-runner, but Sir Dave Brailsford and County weren't convinced he was a sexy, or big, enough name. Then it was Gareth Southgate, but managing England's Euro assault was always going to make that tricky, and there are also whispers he is now distancing himself from it.
Next cab off the rank was Thomas Tuchel, but despite a dip your toe in the water inquiry, the German was a long shot from the off. Too volatile, too dear and too difficult to manage. No way would he meekly accept anyone telling him how his team must play.
Even United's kingmakers realised that. So the search moved on to Kieran McKenna, a former United coach and assistant manager who knew the club better than those doing the interviewing. An eternal Ipswich hero after leading them from League One to the top tier in 2 years.
But compared to one of the elite jobs in world football, it was a no-brainer. Only it wasn't. The contract that the Northern Irishman chose was an extension at Portman Road rather than a new one at Old Trafford.
Of the others to get a mention, only Mauricio Pochettino remains. But if Ratcliffe and the crew fancy him, why are they dragging their heels over appointing a free agent? It has been a farce from the start, with tales of United even picking the brains of other clubs. That really would be a sign of desperation. You couldn't blame Ten Hag if he raised two fingers to Sir Jim and told him where to stick it.
It's been obvious for months that he wasn't wanted, and equally clear that if he remains as manager, it will effectively be by default. So should that happen, don't insult everyone with any statements of support. Don't give us any bull about keeping quiet to avoid disrupting the Wembley build-up.
It was your silence that brought chaos, when one sentence would have meant calm. Any public backing now would be as believable as the fast-fading idea that United were getting a saviour on a white Charger when Sir Jim rode into town. A man returning to his northern roots intent on rebuilding an empire, yet showing more interest in the bottom of a balance sheet than the top of the table.
Mike Ashley with a Failsworth accent, you could say, and at least the former Newcastle owner didn't try to disguise it.